the magic about Billy Higgins is the fact that like he can make great music with anybody. You know, so you hear him on records with Lee Morgan, Hank Mobley, Eddie Harris, Cedar Walton, Thelonious Monk. Just go down the list. Clifford Jordan, Roy Hargrove. I mean, Herbie Hancock. No matter what situation you put him in, whether it was bebop, avant-garde, whatever, he could make music, and he can make it work with any combination. He can make a situation work. You know, you can have great musicians, but maybe the combination of musicians aren't just right. With Higgins, he could play with anybody. I grew up listening to my parents' records, not even realizing I was like listening to them, you know. Sidewinder or Cornbread, you know, Ciora, like that. I didn't know that was him. But those are like some of my favorite records, or Eddie Harris, the End Sound. But you know, once I started really collecting records myself, and you know, you started studying the back of who's playing on the records, what year were the records made. That's when I really started realizing, oh, this is the same guy, you know. And then I'm like, oh, the guy that I know that I get to hang out with, you know, twice a month or whatever. When he comes off the road, that's him. That's Higgins. everything that I'm doing now, you know, like I always say, my father is my first inspiration to play music, to be a musician. But Higgins, you know, he's right up there too. He's everything that I'm doing now. Like Higgins was the first person, one of the first people that ever spoke to me about owning your own music and recording your own music. So not just playing gigs, but creating your own legacy and owning your music. And Billy Higgins was talking about that like 30 years ago to me and to a host of other young musicians. So all that stuff that I'm trying to do now, that's he put a lot of stuff, valuable information in my ear about recording, playing, building a catalog that you have control over. That's what I'm still trying to do that now. Carry on information that he passed on to me, and you know, all you can do is pay it forward. You know, keep it going. I never took drum lessons with Billy officially, never. I would just hang out with him and we would talk about drums for hours, and we would talk about situations. And this goes back to like the moving to New York. He never talked to me about rudiments or stuff like that. He would talk about, you know, playing with a trio, or, you know, or how you should move, you know, in certain gig situations, you know. But I did get the chance to watch him practice on a few occasions. I was able to watch him practice, which basically is a drum lesson within itself. You know, he would practice at the world stage at night with the lights off. He would just practice, and for like hours, you know. And he would practice like it was a gig. You know, I try to do that a little bit myself, where maybe he starts off with brushes and he's just playing time, and then he moves on to soloing with brushes, and then from there maybe he moves on to sticks and he's playing time. You know, he was just making music by himself, like it was a set, you know. So that was my lesson with Billy Higgins. As far as studying, that was, you know, like that's price. To be able to watch Billy Higgins practice for an hour is priceless. It's a lesson. It's like 10 lessons within itself. You know, maybe I was coming home from a gig and I drive by the world stage. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. You turn my car off, I can hear him practicing. So then I get out and I just walk in, you know, and he's practicing. So yeah, that happened many times, you know. And sometimes we would hang out. Me and the other young musicians would hang out after the jam session. And we were there so often that Billy gave us keys to the place. And so maybe he would pull up like maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, you know. That was how it was in the early 90s being in LA. You know, you might see Billy anywhere, but usually it was in Leimert Park, which is where his world stage space was.